Hi, and welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. Today I'm making chocolate pot de creme with a hint of Bailey's Irish cream. Pot de creme is a super decadent dessert. It's kind of a combination between pudding and chocolate mousse. It's really, really rich and silky smooth, and a little bit goes a long way. So this is an awesome dish to serve a crowd. Today I'm using the Cook's Illustrated method of making the pot de creme, but I'm adding my own little twist with a splash of Bailey's Irish cream, because these are for my father-in-law's birthday, which is on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. So I'm starting with 3 of these 4-ounce packages of semi-sweet baking chocolates, and I just wanted to show you how it comes. It's kind of like a big candy bar. I feel like I'm looking for my golden ticket here. Okay, so it just comes, it's already like divided up for you, so you can just break it along those lines into little squares. That's as strong as I am, so we're gonna do 2 at a time. So like I said, there's 12 ounces total in here, which was 3 of those bars. This recipe calls for 5 egg yolks, so I'm just gonna crack them over here in this bowl and separate the white from the yolk. And I just sort of pass the yolk back and forth between the shell until all the white has fallen into this bowl. Then I'm putting the yolk into my medium saucepan. So I'll just do that with 4 more eggs. To my 5 egg yolks, I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of granulated white sugar, and then just a little pinch of salt, maybe about a 1/4 teaspoon. And then I'm gonna whisk that together. So next, I'm going to whisk in 1½ cups of heavy cream and an additional ½ cup of half and half. I turn the heat on to medium-low, and I'm just using a wooden spoon to stir this mixture around pretty consistently for the next 8 to 10 minutes until it thickens and forms a nice custard. It's going to coat the back of our spoon, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. The reason why I changed over from a whisk to a wooden spoon is because you don't want to incorporate too much air into the mixture. You want to keep this nice and dense and rich. My mixture has been cooking for about 8 minutes, and I just wanted to show you the back of my wooden spoon. So after stirring it around, you can kind of swipe your hand through. I let this cool for a second. Don't do it right away because you'll burn your finger. But you can see that the line stays in place. So that's exactly the consistency you're going for. It's kind of, it's thickened a lot, a little bit custard-like, kind of like if you're making a homemade pudding. So what we're gonna do is I turn the heat off, and we're gonna add in our Bailey's Irish cream and a little bit of vanilla extract. So back here I have a ½ cup of Irish cream, and I just use one of these little mini bottles. It's 100 milliliters. So I added that, and then I added about a teaspoon of vanilla extract in here too. So I'll just pour that in. Smells awesome. Let's give that a quick stir. And then we're gonna pour this hot mixture over all of the chocolate that we broke apart earlier. You can see I placed a fine mesh sieve over top of my chocolate, and this will catch any little bits of eggs that may have scrambled in the cooking process. You want it to be a really silky smooth mixture. So I'm just gonna pour the hot cream mixture over top. See, there's a couple little lumps in there, which is totally fine. They'll work themselves out through the sieve. So I'm just gonna work this mixture through the sieve. I'm just gonna let this stand for about 5 minutes, and it's gonna totally melt the chocolate, and then we'll whisk it all together, and we'll have our pot de creme. So I let it sit for about 5 minutes, and now I'm just whisking it all together. You can see all the chocolate has melted. We just wanna incorporate the cream mixture into the chocolate. If you have a mixing bowl with a little bit of a spout on the edge, I would definitely recommend using that. I don't, so I'm gonna use a small ladle here to just help myself portion this out into about 8 servings. And I have these little plastic cups here since we're taking this on the road to a party. So I'm gonna start with 1 scoop per cup, just so I kind of do this as evenly as possible. So now comes the hardest part of the recipe. We have to put these in the refrigerator to set up for a few hours. I made these at night, so I'm just gonna allow them to set up overnight, and then we can serve them tomorrow with fresh whipped cream. So it's the next day, and I pulled one of my little pot de creme from the fridge, and I wanted to show you that last night I covered it in this Glad press and seal wrap, which I love. I only bought it for the first time ever in my life last week, and I'm using it every day. It's awesome. It kind of sticks to whatever you wrap it around. I allowed my pot de creme to cool a little bit before I put them in the fridge, covered, because I didn't want a ton of condensation to develop on the inside of my saran wrap. So just keep that in mind before you cover them and put them in the fridge. So I'm just going to unwrap this and let it sit on the counter for a little bit, just so it starts to, it doesn't have to be at room temperature, but just you want it to soften up a little bit before you serve it. Oh, I can smell the Baileys. It smells good. So now next to me, since I'm just making one serving, I just have a little splash of heavy cream, and I added in some Baileys into my whipping cream because I want to kind of bump up that Irish cream flavor. I didn't put too much in my pot de creme because I'm going to be sharing these with my kids, and I didn't want it to be too powerful of that kind of alcohol taste. I thought for the adults I could add a little bit of that Baileys into the whipped cream to sort of boost up the Irish cream flavor. So I'll put the full recipe for enough whipped cream for all 8 servings in the description box below, but for now I'm just going to make a little bit for myself. I have my whisk attachment on my hand mixer here, and I'm just going to whip this up. I'm going to give a little bit of a taste. I'm not sure if I need to add any powdered sugar, but I can add a little sprinkling in if I want it to be a bit sweeter. We'll just have to wait and see. My whipped cream is ready, and I'm just going to put a little dollop on top of my chocolate pot de creme. Now, I did add a little bit of powdered sugar to this just to bump up the sweetness, but that's just my personal preference. You can kind of taste it and see if you want to adjust the sweetness. Maybe 2 dollops. There we go, we got the perfect little dessert. So now I get to give this a taste. Oh my gosh, it's so dense. Looks good. Wow, it's like chocolate velvet. It's so good. Oh my goodness. This dessert tastes super fancy and luxurious, but it is so simple to prepare. You just need to plan ahead so that you have a little bit of time to let these set up in the fridge. I'm going back in for more. I had to prepare my desserts in a portable way today because I'm taking them to my in-laws' house. But I just wanted to show you, you can also use, this is a giant ramekin, but I actually used this kind of ramekin when I made these for Valentine's Day for my husband and me. We each had about 2 to 3 servings each, which probably wasn't the most healthy decision we've ever made, but I still feel like it was the right decision because this is the most incredible, decadent dessert. You could also use like a wine glass or a martini glass just to kind of spruce up the presentation a little bit. Now, if the flavor of Irish cream just doesn't appeal to you, that's totally fine. I'll have some notes in the description box below where I put the full recipe anytime I post a video, just how you can modify it so it's just a totally chocolate pot de creme, which is equally fabulous. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and find me on Instagram at Anne's Family Recipe. Thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen, and I'll see you again soon with another family recipe. For the full recipe, check the description box below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen.